Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, has WWE's biggest storyline jumped the shark?
Bret Hart disrespected by WWE.
Dominic Mysterio brutally buries CM Punk.
And a WWE PLE is set for the same day as AEW All Out. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
All right, let's talk about the I keep calling them the NFTs.
Yeah, that's the point.
I'm expecting them to release a line of... what is it? Is it like a monkey picture
I think
or
that's
something?
that one, isn't it?
Something like that. Where people are ripping each other. Hawk Tua's involved
Have
somehow.
any crypto going on? Or?
No idea. I tell you what, it's only a matter of time before the Ibiza final boss is involved in this. He's got about 5 days before he launches his own one. But yeah, the MFTs, the Bloodline. What on earth is this stable these days, man? What's going on with this? What's going on with this? So, week and a half after delivering one of, in my view, a worst match of the year contender. It was garbage. Fatu versus Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam. The MFTs have now absorbed Sami Zayn into their vortex here. So there was a bit of kerfuffling going on between these groups on SmackDown this week, and that led to the MFTs, the former Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and his gang of guys. That's a good name. The gang of guys. Yeah. The GOG. There we go. Good old game stuff.
Yeah.
That's where you can buy like Commander Keen and stuff like that. But yeah, the gang of guys showed up, and Sami was wrestling Rusev. Adam Pearce had told Sami, hey, if you win here in your home province, you can have a world title shot. He was over as hell, obviously. It's Sami in Quebec. He's always over as hell. And the match was interrupted. So Sami looked like he was queuing up for a haluva kick. The MFTs came down and beat him up. They kicked Sami Zayn's butt.
I suppose technically he did win then. But
Yeah. Just not in the way that he may have.
Not in a way that counts.
So it's like another kind of, like in storyline, it's like another rug pull ahead of what a lot of people think might be some kind of world title program for Sami at WrestleMania.
Rumble winner next year, I reckon.
Rumble winner, that's the word on the streets. They've been talking. But yes, what do we just call them? The gang of guys.
Yes.
The troop of dudes. That doesn't even work, does it? They beat the hell out of him at ringside. They took him out. There was a bunch of other stuff going on as well. Obviously, Sami had beaten Solo just last week to kind of set this up and keep this going. And you know what, right? I've got a take you're not really going to enjoy with this. It's giving Jericho.
Oh,
to me,
that's far.
The MFT story. I was just thinking about it this morning, right? The Bloodline storyline is objectively the most successful storyline of the modern era in WWE. It's one of the big reasons behind the recent boom period. It has completely reshaped the style of storytelling in WWE to where, this emphasis on moments and all of this stuff. It has completely reshaped the main event style to where a lot of the times when you're watching a main event, WrestleMania main event's probably a good example of this, but you're sitting there waiting for the big run-ins and the big, the army of dudes coming down. It has completely reshaped the face of the company. Now it's a bunch of silly little guys sucking people into this vortex where no one gets over. Jacob Fatu is absolutely worse for working as part of this storyline now. It should have ended weeks ago. He should have just killed Solo Sikoa in that cage, which had 700 interference. It's a cage match. What are we doing here? Classic cage match. I ask you, world, is there anyone out there who still thinks that this is as good as it was in 2022? Anyone? Of course.
I still really like the new Bloodline, the MFTs. I don't think, they're necessarily going by the Bloodline anymore, of course, for obvious reasons. I'm a bit biased because the Bloodline saga is kind of my favourite storyline ever in wrestling. But yeah, it's taken a turn with the Solo arm of this, let's say. But I like it now that they've sort of acknowledged that Solo isn't this like all-conquering badass.
Yeah, he's not that.
Bit of a silly twat, basically, and his, like you say, gaggle of bastards are a bit crap. But I like the fact he's like embraced the banter side of his character. I think he's a very funny guy. And I do agree that, yes, Jacob Fatu should have just kind of put this to bed. I was fine with them switching the title to the US title to Solo on the proviso that Jacob Fatu pretty much immediately won it back, say at SummerSlam or whatever. Yeah, the thing about that match is it had like two big moments in it. One of them they missed. You just didn't see him do that spot where he wrenches off the handcuffs thing. And the second one happened after the match had finished.
Yeah.
Solo already won, and Jacob was like, probably just jump off the cage then or something.
Yeah.
But I do still like the MFT storyline, and I sense that this is all sort of working towards something. Like you say, they had the surprise of like Sammy in Montreal, who pinned Solo. So I was like, right, well, I'm going to stop you, getting your sort of world title progression on Monday Night Raw. Is this going somewhere? Because obviously you've had Jacob Fatu fighting them, you've had Jimmy Uso fighting them. There's all the sort of bloodline adjacent stuff. As you mentioned, Sammy was a big part of that. Solo literally tried to bargain with him on SmackDown, being like, "Remember when we were part of the ones?" Sammy's like, "Get out of my face."
Go away.
It's one of those things, isn't it? With Sammy, you kind of have to keep him busy until January almost, and he can't really go after any other titles. I mean, he might be involved in some sort of multi-man for the US title, I suppose, in the interim. There's this weird online thing I've seen recently of people saying, "Sammy Hogan much?" What? Have you watched wrestling before?
Sami Zayn wins like a quarter of his matches. What are we doing here?
What are we going to have like next? Oh, I see one of Alpha Academy's won. Akira Hogan much? People win matches. They do that to gain the momentum, to get the support from the crowd, to go and win world titles.
Yeah.
Do you get wrestling or whatever? I still like the storyline, but I understand it's certainly not the levels of the Roman Reigns stuff that they were doing in previous years. But I think they've made a fun pivot with all this. But I understand that it is slightly divisive. I think Jericho is a slightly unfair comparison, but I am worried that I did think, there's elements to that I can get.
Oh, on the contrary, at least with Jericho, you get a really good match every 6 months or so.
Yeah.
Right? So, in between those 6 months, it was a struggle. But, sometimes he'd show up and have the Bandito match from last year. Solo Sikoa just crapped out one of the worst matches of the year in that case. I don't know. It's like... To me, it's like watching where it was to where it is today. Like, the Bloodline saga is the big reason why Cody Rhodes got so over as a babyface as well. And then, the rubber chicken, him losing, coming back a year later. Cody was already over when he returned and all this stuff. But being involved in that and being the guy who finally kicked Roman Reigns' ass was a huge part in his ascension. Now, what happens? The person who's kicking Solo Sikoa's ass and beating him in the end, they're not getting any kind of ascension. They're escaping this swirl down the toilet drain. So there you go, two sides of the argument. I think it's the worst thing in WWE today. Other people will disagree.
Natalia's still there, so...
I mean, at least she didn't have that cage match, brother.
No, it would have been worse if she'd...
The only reason people like this is because Solo Sikoa does funny faces.
He does, and he's banter as well. But, he's a creative guy. I'd love to know your thoughts on all this in the comments section below. He's often bringing new people in, whether it be Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga, Tola Tonga. Striking a lot of deals with them, would you say, Anthony?
Last day today on the NordVPN deal, 76% off, up to 4 months for free, up to a $50 Amazon gift card. Is probably the wrong way around. I never know how this works. You got to sign up today, guys. It's gone after today. I don't think there are going to be any more extensions. Look after yourself. Protect yourself online. You got to do it. You could be browsing from Switzerland or Andorra.
It's amazing. It's an amazing deal. Do it and don't disrespect NordVPN. Yeah. Speaking of disrespect... Bret Hart got mugged off by WWE at SummerSlam. I shouldn't laugh at this. He's an absolute legend, of course.
It's funny, Phil.
But he was recently on stage at VaughnCon, which I can only assume is a Vince Vaughn convention. And he was talking about SummerSlam, and he revealed, WWE kind of, disrespected him. He said, I went to SummerSlam. They invited me down this year for WWE and told me they wanted me in the crowd so they can do the usual, look, it's... Migos and Bret Hart hanging out or whatever. I don't know. Fat Joe's here, whatever. The usual.
They do love Fat Joe, to be fair.
But they told me once I got there, they didn't have any seats. I noticed that Kevin Nash got a seat. So I don't feel that WWE, I feel that I finally realised that they don't fully appreciate me. Even after Hulk's passing, there's no appreciation for anything I did. I suppose this is WWE's way of saying, roll your eyes at the Hall of Fame thing, will you? Well, we'll show you. Come to SummerSlam. You ain't got a seat.
Oh, we don't have any seats left.
Looks like you're going to have to buy a ticket, Bret.
Sorry, Bret. This is funny. I love it when Bret Hart opens his mouth. He's got no filter.
We should have a section every week of what's pissed off Bret Hart this week. Yeah. Was Gunther last week?
Bret Corner. Yeah, he's what was it? Fake bullshit wrestling or something like that.
Spin the wheel of Bret outrage. I mean, he's understandably, I'd be annoyed by this.
Yeah, maybe.
Come down to SummerSlam. Where are you going to sit?
Yeah. What's going on there, Bret? This is weird. I mean, Bret doesn't have a filter, which, in my opinion, some people think this makes him a bitter old man. I think it makes him funny. I completely disagree with what he said about Gunther, but I thought it was funny.
I'm going to be like this when I'm his age, unquestionably.
It's Bret Hart. I'm surprised he didn't insult Goldberg in that sentence. This is what he does. That
would have tipped him over the edge, wouldn't it? If they'd have been like, we've got no seats. We've got one reserved here for Bill Goldberg and his son, actually, but none for you.
Yeah, sorry about that, Chief. Actually, there's a spare seat for Mrs. Goldberg, too. The whole thing is very funny. I mean, to be fair, right? Why would you invite somebody to a thing and then not have a seat for them? Like, that's really stupid. Imagine turning up to a wedding and you're just not on the list of...
It's my son's birthday this weekend when people turn up and I go, oh, no burgers for you.
Yeah, you specifically.
Yeah.
You there in the corner. It's a weird thing to do, and but... it's also extremely funny because then Bret just goes off. He doesn't have the tact, the filter that a lot of people have, which is fine because a lot of people are extremely boring. Bret Hart, he'll tell you exactly what he thinks. I wonder what he thinks of the gang of guys.
I think he's a big MFT fan. Yeah.
Do you think he's the one?
I think maybe he's going to be the next new member.
Yeah.
I think they're going to bring him in.
What's his name going to be?
Him and Tongalo are going to form a tag team.
What's his ring name going to be?
Oh,
Bitter Tonga.
Yeah, you've got taller Tonga.
I don't actually think he's bitter. I just think it's funny.
Yeah,
it's all good.
He's a great character, and you can't deny what an absolute legend he is. Yeah. But this weird relationship that he and WWE have with each other is
peculiar.
I mean, it's never not entertaining.
Yeah,
like when he's like Triple H, a bit much, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, that was one of the highlights of WrestleMania.
Right, it was. Little facial expression. Also, it's
get a load of this guy.
It's also Bret Hart. He's like, it's Bret Hart, guys. Like, he's one of the best of all time. Like, come on. Like, if he was in wrestling today, he would be like in his prime. He would be the best wrestler in the world.
100%. Cody or matches like that would be incredible.
Him and Tall Tonga.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the dream match.
That is poor Jeff.
Steel cage with loads of interference.
Yeah, love it. Poor Jeff Cobb, man. I'm sad about this.
I forgot about JC Mateo, yeah.
You know what else is funny? Speaking of people just popping off, let's talk about Dominic Mysterio.
Oh!
Right? He's been...
The modern day Bret Hart, that's what I call him.
Yeah. The greatest luchador in the world, I've heard.
He is class.
I've heard. I saw somebody the other day going, I think the top two luchadors are Dominic Mysterio and Vikingo. And I was like, okay, what is this discussion?
1 and 1A in it, basically. They're in a match, aren't they? In the Triple Mania.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, with Triple Threat, I believe. But yes, Dominic Mysterio's been at it again.
Go on.
Little rat bag. Slagging off CM Punk.
Yes.
So CM Punk made a comment on, I think it was on Unreal. No, it was while promoting Unreal.
Right.
Where he was like, the thing that exposes the business most is the idea that Dominic Mysterio could have believably been with Rhea Ripley. And he called Rhea Ripley a Greek goddess or something like that. Here's the exact quote, actually. Nothing exposes the business more than trying to convince people that Dom and Rhea were in an actual relationship. So Dominic's responded to this because he is a talker. That's what he does. In the media.
What's he said?
It's really good. Actually, nothing exposed the business more than trying to go to the UFC and then getting your ass kicked and then coming back to wrestling.
It's low-hanging fruit, but it is always there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's straight to the bone, isn't it? Look, he did go to the UFC. He did lose twice. Mickey Gall and Mike Jackson?
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah, I remember that fight. That Mike Jackson guy was just farting about on top of him, wasn't he?
Big chance to be in the UFC, and he was like, take the piss.
Yeah.
I was like, you're never fighting here again.
Just sit on you for a little bit. But yeah, so he did go and he did lose.
Yeah.
My thing with Punk in the UFC is that I've actually, I've never taken the piss out of him for it. Because I always kind of admire it.
I agree, yeah.
Like, he put himself out there, right? And he risked ridicule and all these other things because he simply wanted to do it. And also, he did a lot better than I would do, or what 99% of us watching at home would do as well. So...
but it's funny. It's a funny shot to take.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, I've got to disagree with Punk on that because we've all seen people, and you're like, why are that brother and sister walking down the road holding hands? He's not with her, is she? That's not That's not right. But yeah, with regards to him in the UFC, it's funny, and presumably Punk is kind of fine about joking about it now. There's sort of water under that bridge a lot more than when like Steph was out there going, yeah, keep chanting his name and you'll last longer than he did in a UFC ring and what have you. All the respect in the world, like you say, he didn't just. You can be angry at UFC for putting him in, high-profile matches and taking other people's spots on that. Yeah. It's not his fault. Yeah. He's a celebrity. He's a star. He didn't just come in and be like, next week I'm going to be fighting in UFC. He did a full training thing. He got the best. He got Duke Rufus.
He took it seriously.
He took it really seriously. Yeah. He just, these people have been training to be MMA fighters since they were 8.
All their lives.
Yeah. So it's a bit. It's always going to be, jumping in at the deep end, and as like you say, whether it be getting in UFC or trying anything, I've got all the respect in the world for people who just take that risk. Yeah. Nevertheless, I really want to see more of Punk and Dominic Mysterio. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong on this might have just been something I saw someone made up and got very excited about because of the upcoming tour that the WWE are going on. I think they're working some shows. I think they're maybe doing Liverpool.
Okay.
At least they're doing that, I've seen, as part of the house show circuit and obviously all the live shows that they're doing in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, and that was Punk's first match back as well at Madison Square Garden.
Of course, yeah.
And so, they should definitely do it because Dominic is a great little of a boy. He's tremendous in his role. So, do it. Just put it on TV. Put it on TV. If you sell it, I will buy it.
Absolutely.
There you go.
No question.
On free television.
Or maybe you could put it on PLE, perhaps. I don't know. To pick a date, I'll go somewhere in mid to late September.
Maybe the exact same
September 20th? Or what are you doing on September 20th?
I don't think there's anything.
Wait a second. That's all out. That's AEW all out.
Here we go.
It's happened again, ladies and gentlemen. Some more brilliant reporting from Post Wrestling, who it was all over social media last night when this dropped, confirmed after speaking with multiple sources with knowledge of the WWE event schedule that yes, they are planning a yet-to-be-announced PLE Premium Live event on Saturday, September 20th in Indianapolis, Indiana. Again, if that date rings a bell, that's the same date as All Out in Toronto for AEW. Now, there's no time set for this. For WWE's event, All Out is scheduled to take place 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
But this is a slightly different change of tack by WWE. Previously, they've sort of put the NXT shows up against it, or something earlier on in the day, perhaps to try and disrupt what's going on. This appears to be far more of a head-to-head thing, and it is a main roster thing. They've done stuff before with WWE shows, but this is the first time it's been, apart from Saturday Night's main event, that it's been like a proper PLE going up against it. No word as to what the event's going to be. I looked at the schedule that they had last year. Following last year's SummerSlam, they had the show in Europe. This year they got Clash in Paris. Last year they had Bash in Berlin. Then in September they had NXT Non Merci, not in Paris, France, but it should have been. And then they had Bad Blood, so it could be Bad Blood, although Bad Blood was in October last year. But with the schedule, the things they got Crown Jewel, of course, in Australia coming up. A lot of people saying they want to see No Way Out instead. All Out, No Way Out. Be the first time they've done a No Way Out show since 2012. But also, words are funny.
Yes, words are funny. Maybe they should do a show called All In. No one's ever done that before. If they're out, we're in.
All shake it all about. That's what you can call it.
There you go. All in the middle. Why not? You're halfway there. They've been doing this all year, or at least for the past 6 months. They've been doing these and there's always a little caveat, Evolution was the day after All In and all this stuff. I will say it didn't work with all if the tactic is to pull business away and all of this stuff from the competition, and they do see AEW as competition, even though they are light years ahead in every business metric. They clearly do, otherwise they wouldn't keep doing this. It did not work for All In, which was the third, I think it was the very close to the second, but the third highest pay-per-view buys in AEW history, just a couple of weeks ago. So they obviously super loaded that weekend. They put an NXT show. I almost said MFT. They put a Gang of Guys show on. They put a Saturday Night's Main Event. They put an Evolution the next day. It did not work.
Is it about disrupting the conversation more, do you think, now? Do you think they've thought, well, we can't stop people from watching this show, but we can try and encourage people to be like, oh, Evolution's one of the best, PLEs WWE have done this year, and that main event and the Naomi cash-in. Let's forget about Hangman Page winning the world title. It must be working for them some way.
Well, what's the value of that if it doesn't impact business? Because it didn't impact business.
No, it's a good point.
At all. So it's you're not pulling people away from watching the show, clearly, like the AEW show. Loads of people tuned in for that. 180,000 buys.
Is it?
Which is really good considering it did more than Sting's retirement, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
And obviously it's the biggest AEW show of the year. It's obviously going to be a bit higher, but it's the third highest in 6 years of company history. If the conversation doesn't impact business, I don't see the point, personally. Personally, like, from a fan standpoint, it's 2 wrestling shows in one day. I'm happy, right? Like, cool, get to watch 2 things. I'll just watch one after the other. I'll figure out what works for my schedule. I'm not watching either of them live because I can't stay up till 5 a.m. anymore.
God, no.
I'll just watch them both on the
watch the
Sunday
next
or
day
the
on
Monday.
double speed or something.
Yeah, watch them both on 2 screens at once on double speed. That will overstimulate you to hell. But yeah, like...
I just had a flashback then to when they first launched Dynamite versus NXT and we tried to do a stream watching both shows. What were we thinking?
No, never do that again, gee whiz.
We did it like Soccer Saturday.
Yeah.
It was Nicholas and Cleary and I was in the middle going, there's been a pinfall, but for who?
The devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. But yeah, like I genuinely don't see what benefit this is bringing to WWE.
Funny.
It is funny.
People up.
It is funny and it does wind people up. But look, as someone who will just watch shows, there's 2 in one weekend. Okay, cool. You know, like, great. Like, if it's Friday this week, there's probably 2 albums I want to listen to coming out. I can do both. It's fine. But yeah, they're trying to undermine them some way. I just don't think it's working.
Yeah, it's just a competition. You know, it is very childish to do this.
It is, but it's kind of funny.
But again, yeah, I find it amusing. So, but let us know your thoughts. Which one are you going to watch?
Yeah.
They're no doubt going to say, like, if they are, the fun thing's going to be now, previously, because like you said, they put on these shows, they've just put on shows.
Yeah.
And big shows, no question, Evolution, Saturday Night's Main Event and what have you. But, like, if they're going head-to-head with the main roster PLE, is this the one where they go, right, take a Shawn Michaels, we'll run that back. We'll get The Rock on it. You know, like, they just go insane. They book these mad matches.
Advertise all this stuff in advance as well. Yeah, maybe, who knows?
You heard it here first. Take a Shawn Michaels, what would it be, 3? I suppose, technically, in the big PLE matches.
Because ultimately, more people are going to watch the WWE. It's a bigger company, of course they are. But, like, if the AEW buys come through and it's, like, where it usually is, they haven't done anything. It's pointless.
And the other thing is, as with both shows, like you say, we do a weird time difference. Where if you're in America, you can just go, oh, I'm busy that day, but the next day I'll just buy it and watch it then. That still counts. Yeah. It's not like, well, if you don't watch it a Saturday night, 8 p.m, doesn't count. Yeah. Does not count.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, yeah, it's strange, but also it's funny, and it's not stopping anytime soon.
No,
so
indeed.
Let's keep it rolling. Thank you for joining us today. Check out this video here. It's the wildest things wrestlers have ever said on live TV.
It is wild.
Look at that. I mean, the thumbnail's wild alone. Look at that. That's mental. See you later. Bye.
Bye.